Having a homestead can just be really overwhelming and really stressful, trying to get all the things done all the time. And so we have found a way, something that we're going to use to be able to conquer that in 2022. Howdy folks, Cody here at More Than Farmers.
And I'm Shelly.
So some people make New Year's resolutions and some people do dream boards, vision boards, and we actually did like a dream board for us personally, like as a couple last year. And that was really helpful to have that reminder. We did like a collage of pictures with notes on it with what we want to do, and we put it up on the wall in our bedroom so that we could see the goals that we're headed towards. And you know, it's just something that as you're walking by, you just kind of can get a glance at it and you're reminded of the things that you're working towards and the things that you need to do to make that happen. And so we want to take kind of that same concept and do that for our homestead this year. And so we're going to make like a picture collage thing, and we're actually going to do it this time. We're going to do it digital. I want to put it on my wallpaper for my computer so that every time I go on there to edit videos for you guys and stuff like that, I can see that and see the direction that I really want to be going. So real quick, what we want to do is just go over some of the things we had on our dream board last year to see how it went for us, and then see what we can learn from that to go into 2022. And Shelly, you want to go ahead and start?
Sure. One of my number one goals was minimalism. We have a really tiny farmhouse here. I love our house, but it is tiny. And with 4 kids, it's really closing in on us. So I got rid of tons of stuff, like probably a third of our stuff, would you say?
Trash bags going out the door all the time.
Anyways, it was so incredibly freeing for me, and it's made a huge difference in how this household runs. One of my other main goals was to actually use all the produce and all the things that we produce on this farm. I catch myself planting like way too much of something that I don't actually even use. I just tried really hard to intentionally incorporate the food that I grow in the garden into our meals, and I actually did good.
And part of that was just making sure we were growing the things that we really wanted to use and not growing a lot of extra stuff. So a few of the things that I had on my side of the dream board, the first thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to work out. I wanted to get some more muscles and get rid of some of this dad bod going on here. And I was actually doing pretty well with that for a while. But then we started a YouTube channel and decided that the YouTube channel was something that I have more of a vision for our family for the future. And so I had to prioritize that over working out, and I can still do a YouTube channel with a dad bod. A couple of the other things, I wanted to finish some stuff up on my barn. I wanted to spruce it up, put some trim on the outside, and I wanted to build our root cellar. And for both of those, I got them mostly done. So the barn, I got the trim on, most of it and everything. It's not quite done. And the root cellar, I got that done. There's actually food in there right now. We're eating out of that root cellar, but it's not quite done either. There's just a couple little things that I need to finish up. And I've got a video about that you should check out too. So now we want to go over some of the goals that we have for 2022 that we're going to be putting on our board.
One of my goals for this year is to continue making the garden more efficient. One of the ways that I'm going to keep doing that is by mulching everything with leaves. Last year, I caught myself waiting like too long to mulch, and then I would have to weed first, and then the squash would be long and tangly, and it's like impossible to mulch things when they're big and overgrown.
And along with that, to basically be thinking and planning ahead to make sure that you get those things done on time. See what's coming up next. And so along with that, I also want to work on making the garden more efficient. And one of the ways that I want to do that this year is to build some raised beds. Some of the things that I've heard and some things that I've read and seen about using raised beds for gardening sounds really great. It sounds like a great way to make things more streamlined and efficient and use space efficiently and things like that. And plus we want to kind of go more of a no-till direction. I'm not totally convinced on just like no-till whatsoever, but I do like the idea of doing less tilling. And it sounds like a lot of people who use raised beds do a lot less tilling, so I want to try that. And we're not going to do everything in raised beds this year. I just want to build a few, maybe in our front garden, not sure yet.
We need to give it a try before we put everything.
So we're going to do a few of them to see how that goes.
So my next main homesteading goal for 2022 is to learn to use the pressure canner that Cody got me. I'm scared to death of it, honestly. And so probably this is gonna be like a dual thing. Like he's gonna have to read the instructions and show me exactly how to do it, and then I'll just learn and try to be comfortable with it and stuff.
So what's the reason, your overarching goal for using the pressure canner? What is that?
So the reason that I am wanting to use the pressure canner is because cooking is by far my most stressful job here on the homestead. I do not enjoy cooking at all. And so I'm just thinking that having some really quick meals like down in the basement to just bring up like on an evening where I haven't gotten supper ready is gonna be really nice.
Homesteader convenience food.
Yeah, like basically some soups and stews probably is what I'll shoot for this year. Basically, I think I need to have something in a can that can be like, we can bring out really fast and use. I think self-care for homesteading women is extremely important, and men. I think it's really important for us to take care of ourselves because otherwise you get burned out.
And it's very important for you homesteader husbands to encourage your wives to do that because they often avoid it, I think partly to impress us maybe sometimes, but also just maybe they feel guilty for doing that.
Self-care is not selfish. Self-care makes us better people, makes us kinder people, and it's very important.
So another thing that I want to accomplish, another goal that I have, is to make my barnyard more efficient. In some of my videos you can kind of see how some of the things are, the way that my barn and hoop house and compost piles are set up. It worked really great when I was doing everything with pitchfork and a wheelbarrow, but since I got a tractor with a loader last year, it is not the spiffiest tractor with a loader, it doesn't have power steering, and so it can be just like kind of hard to maneuver around in tight spaces. I think I need to move some things around to make so that it's more tractor friendly to be able to take care of the manure and stuff, because tractor with a loader is awesome for moving all the manure that we've got from the chickens and from the cow, but it's really annoying when I know that I could be doing it but I can't because I don't have enough space to turn around and stuff like that. And the other thing that I want to do with that is we use leaves not only in the garden, but I also like to use it for bedding for our cow and especially for the deep bedding for our chickens. Right now it's just sitting in a pile with a tarp over top of it. What I really like to do is make some like bins, kind of like my compost bins that I have. I want to make something like that to put leaves in, have a tarp over it, just be much easier to get up to with the tractor, to keep it organized. It is really hard to be organized, but it's a whole lot harder to be unorganized, and that's what we're finding out. And so that's why we're going for some of this stuff here, using this board to keep us more organized.
Another thing that I am really wanting to focus on this year is beauty on the homestead. So far we've just been focusing on getting things done, getting our homestead up and running, but this year I would really like to do a little bit of landscaping around the house, restain and paint our porch, paint the front of the house, and this one obviously I can't do by myself, but clean out the fence rows.
So I have a great quote: a good farm is judged partly by its beauty. And I think that is so true. I mean, I've been to Joel Salatin's farm. I love his farm. It's really awesome what he's doing there, but he lacks the pleasing aesthetics, I think, sometimes. That is just something that I think speaks to people. Even though that we think our homestead does need some help in the beauty area, we've had people drive in our lane and just kind of get out and just look around just like, wow, I love this. And that really meant something to us because, you know, that is partly what we want our homestead for, is not only to feed ourselves, but also to speak to other people. And I think God can speak to people through the beauty that he's created, and we are stewards of that, and we can make that happen in the hearts of other people. And along with a lot of the food that we are producing for ourselves now, we want to produce even more, and I'm really excited. This year we are planning to get bees. I'm going to build some horizontal hives, plan to do a video about that, and we want to start keeping bees and having our own honey. That's a totally new adventure for us. And also I want to take better care of our fruit trees. So we have about half a dozen apple trees and a couple pear trees, cherry tree. I mean, I do okay. At the beginning of the spring, you know, I spray a few times. We don't do any chemical sprays or anything, but like life-giving, health-boosting sprays. After a while, it just kind of gets off of my to-do list. Yeah, they really should be bearing more fruit by now. They just kind of started last year, so they are still really young, but there's, you know, they've got some disease and stuff that I really need to take care of. So we've got the trees there, and now we just need to get them to work for us. And last but not least, we want to go on even more adventures this year. Yeah, we're excited about doing hikes and going to the skate park with the kids, and we want to show you guys some of our adventures too with our videos. We want to make sure that we're not only just like thinking about doing that, but we're also planning for it. And that's what this dream board, vision board, farm goal board is for, is just to give us that reminder to make sure we're keeping our priorities straight and making the plans that we need to make those things happen. Got my tribe.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time.
I think Eden got tired.